Today, we decided to print on a wall, and I have no idea if this is gonna work. We don't have a big printer, and so what we do is we just piece together a bunch of 12 by 18 or 11 by 17 sheets. The vellum it's the negative image so that it can burn onto the screen. Okay, so we just gotta get our mega screens coated. I have 2 of these, and I decided not to remesh this part. It's still holding pretty good tension up here, but right here is an issue, obviously. I don't think I have enough 305 mesh right now, so we're gonna use it, and it'll be awesome, and we'll be happy. Okay, so I wanted to explain a little bit about mesh. And when I talk about screen printing, I'm actually referring to silk screen printing. And we're using silk that has little holes in the silk. And some different meshes, the silk, have more holes or less holes. And the less holes, we go down to like a 40 mesh, and it's 40 holes per 1 square inch. And then if you go up to a 110, or a 160, 156, or a 305, there's 305 holes within a 1 by 1 square inch. So basically that's what's happening. So the more holes you have, the more accurate you can be on your detail. The less holes you have, the less accurate you'll be on your detail, but the more ink that can pass through. And same with the higher mesh, less ink will pass through. So while we're using these big screens, I'm using a 305 mesh, which has a lot more holes. And so what that does is I can use a lot thinner of an ink. And so that's kind of I just want to explain that. So there you go, a beautiful visual for beautiful people. Basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna put emulsion on the screen so that we can burn the image. This is the emulsion we use. Sati, shout out to them because they're awesome. Love their products. All right, so basically what emulsion is think of it like glue, except for with glue, it dries with time, and with emulsion, it dries with light. And so basically what that means is when I put this emulsion on a screen, it will be dry to the touch, but it still is water soluble. And so when you expose it to light, just regular light, then it gets really, really hard. So when you block the light with an image, wherever the light shoots out but gets blocked, gets really hard, and then the part that got blocked by the light is gonna be water soluble. And so that's kind of how that works. I'm gonna grab a bigger trough this time instead of using our standard one for our regular screens. This one I'm gonna be able to coat here and then do a little bit of an overlap, and it should be sweet. I'm gonna take the rest of this emulsion. We're gonna need a little bit more. All right, so for breakfast, I like to have me a little diazo. Basically what this is, it's a little powder that goes into the emulsion and starts activating all of the molecules inside. Also, it's not a good idea to mix right before you're about to coat on screens in general, because once I start mixing it a lot, it's gonna create a lot of air bubbles. And it's not very good for your screens, but on this one, I know what I'm doing. It's a really large print and I'm okay with that, but it'll be good. I'll prep this for our screen guy while he's gone. All right, so I'm gonna return all my emulsion back into my bucket. How I like to dry these is I use these little machine things that you can lay down. So we'll take this. On a 305, I like to cure with inside down because usually it's a thin print. Okay, so we're just gonna let these dry, and again, just dry to the touch, and then we'll show you how we're gonna burn them. All right, so we threw up our, I didn't throw up, but we put our big screen up here in the oversized exposure unit. And what this is gonna do is shoot a really bright UV light towards the image. This part has a little vacuum down here, and it's gonna suck this neoprene so it's really tight so that the image is really tight against the screen that we coated earlier, and that's gonna produce a sharper image as well. And so this baby, with what I got set up, we're gonna run it for about 3 minutes, and we'll let this thing ramp up and we'll let this thing suck down. where we're planning on printing vertically on this wall, but we got to kind of prep it. And so I guess we'll just do that now. Done. There's our sweet homemade squeegee for this mega print right inside of our screen here. This is a 305 mesh. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pre-flood it. So start up here and I'm gonna pre-flood it. Leave the ink down here like this. And we're gonna put the entire screen up like this. And then I'm just gonna send her. Cause I have the squeegee on here.
Squeegee.
I got squeegee, kinda. Leave it tilted towards us, Allie. Okay. I forgot to do off contact. Got it? Allie, got the sides? Okay, watch out for drips. It's like there's too many bumps. Okay, so far it turned out pretty sick. I'm actually super surprised that it printed as well as it did without having like a lot of extra blowout. If you don't know what blowout is, it's basically when you just put too much ink through the screen. It goes like bigger than the image you planned on. And so that was kind of what I'm talking about, is like when I use that small squeegee, we just want to get it to like be nice and crisp, but also not put too much ink through so it doesn't like look like shit. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. What I did have to do though is I had the big squeegee to flood it, and I tried printing it, but honestly, I just feel like a puss because I couldn't get it all the way through. Like it was the texture. So like the texture of the wall had these little it has like the Santa Fe kind of texture. And everywhere it hit the squeegee, it was good, but anywhere underneath that texture, it just wouldn't clear. And so I went and got a little tiny squeegee, and I went and got that squeegee and just did each little line individually. That's what really made it look good. We had one part where there's a little bit of texture showing, and it actually looks freaking sick. Like it looks like it's part of the wall. And so we're leaving it because it looks dope. And no, it's not Illuminati, it's Badger Naughty. That was a party. That turned out to be a way big mess. I anticipated a mess. That was real messy. Turned out sick, as you can see. No pun intended, because the eye and stuff. Yeah, so we tried using the big squeegee, and that just it was too much pressure with too much texture as well. And so we ended up using smaller squeegees, and then the really deep textures from the Santa Fe drywall texture, I kind of used my finger and just kind of dabbed in there and cleaned it up a little bit. But yeah, it turned out sick. I mean, for a 2-color on a wall with like 4-foot screens, I'm pretty happy with the result. Decided not to clean up some of the texture because it kind of gives character, you know? Like it gives character to it. So cleaning up the screens was a joke. I mean, like I was blue and then I was like pink and now I'm blue. Know what I mean? Watch out for, we're gonna put some shirts up on our merch store. So go to badgerprints.com and click on the merch store and you can buy these. Maybe we should make some stickers for our next sticker batch, for our next, in our orders. Look out for our next videos and tell us maybe like what else we should screen print. Auf Wiedersehen!